we all know over the past couple of years, there has been a Parfum bandwagon, and some fragrances have even been resurrected from the dead to join that bandwagon. One of them is Eternity by Calvin Klein. I'm gonna be honest, I loved this fragrance back in the day, and I still love it today. So let's say what they did with it. It used to have a green color, now it kind of has like this yellow ambery hue to it. I'm excited to give you my thoughts on this brand new 2022 release, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's episode and I give you my thoughts on the brand new Calvin Klein Eternity Parfum, just came out in 2022, I want to start things off by saying that if you're a fan of fragrance-related content, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it. Hit the bell icon so you can be notified whenever I do upload future videos to the channel, and also make sure you click where it says enable all notifications, because there have been subscribers who are saying that they're not getting my notifications. And give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. It would really mean a lot to me. So here we have the brand new Eternity Parfum, a 2022 release. I was surprised, right? I've always been a fan of the original Eternity, just a very classy sort of a lavender fougere vibe, and I've associated it with a very sort of stress-free chapter of my life. Obviously, I was much younger and I had fewer responsibilities. Here we have the Parfum version, which is actually composed by two amazing perfumers. Alberto Morillas, who is arguably one of the best. He has done everything from Versace Pour Homme to Acqua di Gio by Giorgio Armani. And also Frank Vocal, who did Santal 33 by Le Labo. We're talking about some of the biggest fragrances on the market. Now, this fragrance has a pretty interesting note breakdown. It's rather simple. You do have this sort of boozy cognac note, if I'm remembering correctly, but there is a boozy ingredient. There's also lavender and bourbon vanilla. I got something a little bit different from this fragrance in the opening. In any case, I'm excited to talk to you about the smell, but let's take a quick look at the presentation. So as soon as you spray this fragrance on, for me personally, I got a fruity vibe in the opening. So it opens up rather fruity. It has the sort of like a pineapple, mango kind of a vibe. I don't know if the color of the bottle kind of subliminally, made me think mango, but I did get a bit of a fruity vibe in the opening. And when I think of booze, I usually associate it with spices, and I didn't get anything spicy from this. So for some people, might it be a letdown? Perhaps, especially if you were expecting like a creation-y kind of a booze or something like that. Okay, you're not gonna get that from this fragrance. But if you like bright, vibrant, fruity fragrances in the vein of like a pineapple or a mango or something like that, I think you might be interested by the opening. Now, here is where the bad news comes in. Could be good news to some. That fruity opening doesn't last for the entire duration of the fragrance. So it's good in the sense that it's non-linear, keeps you on your feet, it keeps you intrigued, so on and so forth. But I guess the bad news for some is if you really like that bright, vibrant, fruity opening, it does eventually transition into more of like a lavender heart, which is going to allude to the original Calvin Klein Eternity. Now, of course, there's going to be consumers in Macy's or Nordstrom, well, whatever, I bought my bottle from Macy's. There are going to be consumers who are walking around a department store and thinking to themselves, oh, a new Eternity, I love the original Eternity, let me buy this, it might smell similar. Does not smell similar at all to the original Eternity. As a matter of fact, I thought about it, and it does give off of a slight vibe to Stronger With You by Emporio Armani. So I think Calvin Klein's assumption was, well, if we're gonna jump on the Parfum bandwagon, let's make it sweeter. And I think that's what a lot of brands are doing nowadays. Although with some brands, we've seen them kind of take a step backwards, like Sauvage Elixir definitely went in a spicier direction, but some brands are definitely going in a sweeter direction with their Parfum release. And I think that that is a trend that will eventually die out, but you got to get the market while it's hot, and you can't knock certain brands for trying to capitalize on that. In any case, I do think that in the opening, at least, with that sort of a bright, vibrant, fruity sensation, it does do things in its own way, and it has a certain layer of uniqueness. Once you give it a chance to dry down, the vanilla comes out, you're like, okay, here is Stronger With You by Armani. But it does have a little bit of that lavender in there, which kind of gives it this faux fougere vibe, right? If you want a fougere, if you want more of a barbershop scent, go with the original Eternity. As reformulated as it is, I know it's going to be a shadow of its former self, but I think that that's going to satisfy the fougere bug a little bit better than this new release. However, this is definitely a lot more modern. I can see this catering to a younger crowd. I can see somebody in their 20s or even early 30s really enjoying this fragrance, especially if they're still very much a part of the nightlife, the clubbing, the partying, the bar scene, so on and so forth. I think this one will be right up their alley. I've sort of, with a wife and a kid, I've sort of outgrown that. So I don't particularly love the really, really sweet fragrances, the 1 millions of the world. But if it has a spicy kick to it or something else that's woodsy or dark or green or whatever, I definitely find myself being attracted to it. But in the case of this fragrance, it kind of lacks that darker undertone. But in any case, I think it's going to do well, especially among a younger crowd. And I hope you have the opportunity to go out there and try it for yourself. Always let your own nose do the judging. And I hope it resonates with you. At the end of the day, I'm always happy when people discover fragrances that they love. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. Now, first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, I do find this fragrance to be a little unique. There were comparisons made to Stronger With You by Emporio Armani, and in the opening, it does kind of have like this pineapple vibe, and pineapple could be compared to a number of fragrances. It doesn't smell like Creed Aventus or Mont Blanc Explorer, but it definitely has like this juicy, tart, sweet fruitiness to it. Definitely try it for yourself so you can see what I mean. Longevity on this one was a solid 8 hours, so given the concentration, I think it falls in line with that, which is great, and I think a lot of people will be satisfied by that. In terms of the projection, it projected really well for the first hour of application. I would even say it went beyond an arm's length, and I think those volatile fruity notes in the opening certainly had something to do with it, and they're not listed in the note breakdown, but like I said, I'm picking up on like this fruity pineapple mango vibe. It became an elbows length scent right around hour 5. It became a skin scent right around hour 8. Versatility, I think it's perfectly unisex. It's marketed for men, and if you want to go along with that, be my guest. This one, it definitely gives off more of like a nighttime partying, clubbing vibe, whereas the original could be both casual and formal, but it lacked that sweetness that sort of conveys sensuality or kind of like this youthful, upbeat, partying nature. I think this one is great for the colder weather. The longevity was great on my skin. And in terms of the presentation, for the Parfum version, they went with more of like an orangey hue on the bottle. So whether your synesthesia kicks in and it delivers some kind of a promising message, that's wonderful. If not, hey, that's cool too. My final verdict on this fragrance is it is a fragrance that was popular a long time ago. It recently jumped on the Parfum bandwagon, and the brand decided to use 2 incredibly accomplished perfumers to create a sweet fragrance that is along the lines of like an Emporio Armani Stronger With You, but it does have a touch of lavender in there. It kind of give you like this illusion, however subtle, to the original, but this one is a totally different fragrance. Try it for yourself. I hope you enjoy it. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but if you do end up liking it, I would love that, right? I'm always, looking forward to people enjoying their purchases or their discoveries. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, please do consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it. Hit the bell icon and click where it says enable all notifications. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. Love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.